Until the next calamity strikes, this is Fragments of Silicon.
Welcome to another installment of Fragments of Silicon. I'm your host, Adam. Joining me, as always, is the regular crew. Let's get to the news. Twilight, why don't you start us off this week?
All right. Well, so far so good in terms of, the whole back-to-school situation. Not going bad, at least here for the moment, though. We've been having some frightening rising cases in the overall state of Kentucky, though. Otherwise, things have been going well, though. This week, the one of the local fall festivals is going to be taking place here.
Oh, fun!
I'm not going to attend that this year, even though I tend to enjoy attending it, but not this year. No.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, and they've canceled all other fall festivals in the nearby counties except for this one for some reason. They're saying they're going to take precautions, but I don't trust people.
Unless everyone's going to be in hermetically sealed bubbles, they're not taking enough precautions.
Yeah. Yeah, let's see here. Well, work is going well, though. I have been having some lower back pains in the past 2 days, but that's actually gotten better now, thankfully. Let's see here. Anything of other significance? Well, not in terms of day-to-day life at least. Well, gaming-wise, I now own a Nintendo Switch.
Yay!
So there's that.
Oh boy, send me your friend code at some point.
I mean, you're probably still not going to get the Switch codes because I can never remember you have a PlayStation 4 either. But
that's fine.
Maybe I'll give them some of them if they're games that I really don't want to play. I'm kidding.
Yes.
Yeah, I just hopped on the opportunity when I had the chance.
I mean, that being said, I do have a code for you, but that can wait until tomorrow.
All right.
Anyway,
that's it for me.
Okay. Well, Alex, why don't you go?
Nothing dramatic new here, although I did pick up I've been watching some videos of the new Cadence of Hyrule DLC, so I picked up the base game for that the other day. And I'm looking forward to hopefully doing that some. And I in my replay through of Breath of the Wild, I finally beat the first set of the Master Trials. The second set is still proving very difficult. It's interesting the different kinds of terrains they set you up with. That because I think certain people will find that there are certain types of terrains that they're better with than others. Yeah, it's definitely getting to be fallish here. Should probably take out my air conditioner soon. I mean, I've mostly just been using it as a fan for when I'm sleeping. Nothing else super dramatic, I don't think.
All right. Well, Petty, here you go.
Not a whole lot major has been going on, just because I'm still dealing with my mom's recovery for her shoulder surgery. She finally went to therapy today, so hooray. And yeah, other than that, not a whole lot's happening as far as gaming goes. I started playing a free-to-play game called Genshin Impact.
I've heard of it, yes.
Same here.
It's so
Yeah, I
far
was
alright.
looking at that a little. I
Mhm.
haven't gotten it, but I was thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm right now.
Yeah, so
Well,
far I'm enjoying
mostly I'm gonna look for people who are like streaming it or something and see if I can observe a little.
it.
I think Naka streamed that the other day.
Yeah, something like that.
He did. Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so other than that, not a whole lot. Just been kind of doing stuff for the show and whatnot and so forth.
All right, I guess it's my go. Let's see. I suppose in professional news, let's call it that. Why not? Last week we had the mostly successful launch of our new political show, The Last News Desk on the Left. Recorded the pilot episode. Like, we're still working out some kinks, not gonna lie. And we are presuming that we are going to do episode 2 tonight. It's just, well, we've mentioned this on the show before. It's never a comfortable topic, but given how fly by night Mac can be for various reasons, it's still a we might be doing this, we might not be doing this at any given week. So fair warning there. But we're right now assuming that we are doing this until we are not, or rather when Mac doesn't show up. And we're still waiting 30 minutes in. This has happened before, more than once.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I suppose the biggest news personally was I voted. My early, my early request ballot finally came in on Saturday. Filled that in on Sunday. It was in the mail on Monday. And yes, I did all the things that you need to do to actually have that shit count. Make sure you sign the back of your ballot, people. They won't take it otherwise.
And some places make sure to get notarized.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, mine came on like Saturday or Monday or something, and I haven't filled it out yet, but I've done my research, so I'm going to do it soon. And I'm probably going to drop it off manually at the place, but that depends on like how close your drop-off place is.
Mm-hmm.
I live in a state that isn't trying to make it impossible to vote, so
Got mine last week and already got it out. So
lucky.
Good. And I think Kevin's waiting on his, and I don't know about Mac. I'm sure it'll come up on the other show should we be doing it this week. And yeah, that's my news for the week. So merrily we shall roll along to the interview portion of the broadcast. And joining us this week is Makario of Yokereba Games.
Nice. Hi, welcome. One clarification, it's Makario of Yokereba Games.
I'm like, fair enough. It's always a gamble when we have foreign words to pronounce.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Everyone does the same thing. I'm not offended at all.
Good to know.
the studio name is If It Moves in Japanese.
If it's good.
Or if it's good.
Yeah, if it's good. Yeah.
It could
That's
be
correct.
the other one, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Anyway, so how we like to get started is we like to ask the person behind the studio, behind the games and whatnot, this particular question: what got you interested in video games, both on a personal and a professional level?
Good question. I would say my cousin was probably the one who got me into video games. He is several years older than I am, but he introduced me to the Super Nintendo, to my favorite game, Chrono Trigger. I would watch him play that, and I just fell in love with that game, with that system, and have been playing games ever since. So gaming has been a pretty big part of my life. Grew up doing it, like I'm sure a lot of us have. Professionally, if you want to call it professional. So this whole gaming profession is relatively new to me. The game that I think we'll be talking about tonight is my first foray into like PC games and this type of video games. I did make a mobile game a couple of years back. But as for what got me into it, I don't know. I just I like being I like learning new things. I like being creative, and two games that impacted me as a kid. I had always wanted to come back to, and I thought, you know what, it'd be a cool idea if I figured out how to remake them into my own thing. And so I put that on my to-do list, and then eventually got around to doing it.
And what were the two games that inspired you?
So for my first game, which is called The Vigil Files, it's an Android game. It's like a detective game where it takes place in quote unquote real life. You get text messages from someone, and you have to like solve this puzzle using real websites and real pictures, and it happens in real time-ish. So you have to wait for responses. You can say whatever you want. But that game was inspired by a game called JD Spy, which came out in, I think, 2001, done by one man, a little indie game. But it blew my mind that I was getting these messages from someone on the other side, right? Someone not, it seemed like a little more than an NPC because it was using AOL Instant Messenger, and it was very realistic. And then for this game, my game that is coming out soon, Jampala, there was another game called Sprygynx. Sprygynx, I think I found on the same site as I found JD Spy, a site called GameHippo.com. Which is no longer around. But yeah, Sprygynx itself was a remake of an Atari classic. I don't know if it's even a classic, but an Atari game called Quick Step. The person who made it put their own spin on it. I loved it. I played it a lot with my siblings, and yeah, I decided to remake that remake and put my own spin on that.
And I suppose the question that beckons in relation to Jampala here is, what is your own particular spin on this genre?
So yeah, it's interesting. It's hard to call it a genre. I would say it's more of a mix of genres. But so Sprygynx was all about jumping up to the top, getting the most points. It was as simple as that. You control a character, you can move left, right, up, down. Each of the platforms have numbers, and you're just trying to score the most without falling off. I had a lot of fun with that. I feel like just that simplicity it may be a little simplistic for modern days. So my own spin includes different characters with different abilities. So each character can do something unique to them. They can blow up platforms, they can KO enemies, they can freeze enemies, stuff like that. And I incorporated a lot of fighting game elements in it as well. So the idea of Yomi, mind reading your opponent, playing mind games. There's a wager system from the Injustice fighting game. Positioning is very important. State or special management is important. Things like that. So blending the fighting games and non-traditional fighting games that I like with this pretty simplistic puzzle game.
Was that a hard mix to blend together?
I don't believe it was. It kind of made sense. So I think whenever you're and again, I'm new to this experience. These lessons are things that I'm just learning. But whenever you're creating a new game, whenever you're prototyping, I've found it helpful to just start with the basics. So we started with sprite inks at its core, and then added characters, added abilities little by little. And we would only add things that made sense to the moment. And yeah, I think it worked together well. I wouldn't say that it took a lot of prototyping and redoing. I feel like the core game loop was pretty solid in the early stages.
I mean, it looks pretty solid from my vantage point, but I will admit I'm not doing the playing of the game. It's usually the task of the crew here. Well, Petty, Twilight, you two have been playing the game in the background. What are your impressions of Jumpala at this juncture?
It's interesting. I'll give
It
it
is.
that.
Mm-hmm.
I did some of the practice, and there's more differentiating the characters than there often is in this kind of game, although I'm not sure
Mhm.
if that's... Like, that wager system is like one character's special thing, so...
Every character can do the wager thing.
they can?
Mhm.
I thought the demo just said that it was what's her face's the sword girl.
Oh,
Maybe
no.
I misread that.
Yeah, any character can. The only requirements are that you're behind in points and that you have meter to burn.
Okay, my mistake.
Oh, no problem.
But there are a lot of... Still, the specials are pretty significantly different between the characters. I'm curious as to how well they will turn out to be balanced.
Hmm. Just out of curiosity, what characters have you played? And this is me hijacking for learning purposes. But do you feel like some characters are stronger than others? What's your opinion on that right now?
I feel like some of the characters kind of lack offensive options,
Mm-hmm.
which isn't necessarily a bad thing, and it's like a personal playstyle thing. But a character like Sid doesn't really have offensive options, really, aside from controlling things.
Right.
Which he has very strong defensive options, because pretty much he can lock platforms to his color, and then when they're locked, most of the characters that have offensive options, except for is it Lola, the sword girl?
Mhm.
And for most of them, their offensive options involve platforms that are their color, which obviously it doesn't work if you can't make the platform he's on your color.
Mhm.
So I didn't really... I haven't actually played Versus. I was just mucking around trying to get a handle on each of the characters to decide who I wanted to play as before showtime. Before it turns out I'm not actually the one playing. But yeah, I haven't decided which ones I like best, but I want to keep an eye on the balance of the characters who have more offensive powers versus the ones who are more defensive. And then there are some like Dr. Time that just seem like that would like mess with everyone.
Yeah.
But the longer to respawn thing is actually a significant downside. So
Right. He's also a bit slower than most of the other cast.
And that's all he really does.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter necessarily if you can take over all of the platforms, or if you can go between all the platforms fast when there's not actually much stopping other people from just going back over them after you.
Right. Yeah. Cool. Thanks for that.
I think the fast kid is the one that seemed the weakest to me, but I think that's probably partially because I didn't figure out the optimal way to do it yet. I guess you'd probably want to be kind of hanging out near the bottom and like trying to capture things right before they fall off, because that's where the being fast really helps.
Also, grabbing items before anyone else
Yeah, that's
does.
true.
You can be one of the first to get it. You can actually grab multiple items and use multiple items. There's also this lock item, which will lock your platforms, and it's what Sid's ability is, but it's in item form. If you get that item and move really fast, you can lock a lot of platforms with it.
That's true. So I get that's kind of dependent on that actually dropping, but yeah.
Yeah. Oh, one thing to mention is that items aren't random.
Oh, they're not?
So each stage has 10 sub-stages or sub-maps that are randomly chosen, but the items on each sub-map are the same. So as you play, you can learn which items are where and strategize around that.
So, like, if you recognize the level layout, the item in a certain location in that part of the level layout will always be the same one?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah. So then it becomes a game of, do I want this item or do I want the points? Should I stop my opponent from getting the item? Can I stop my opponent from getting the item? If I know he's going to grab the item, how do I play around it? That kind of thing.
Yeah, and I'm not going to claim to be like some kind of expert at this game when I've just tried out the characters in practice mode, basically. It's just I noticed based on how different they are that you can't just like one-to-one balance things,
right?
Because they're different.
Yeah.
All right. Now, I suppose a question I have about the items is, can you randomize them or turn them off, or do you have to play with items?
Good question. You can do both. So there is an option to randomize the items. There is also an option to turn them off. There are a few more options like turning off stage hazards, setting the scrolling speed of the stage, the number of points you lose when you die, that kind of thing.
That's good to hear. Not unexpected, but still good to hear that such customization options do exist. Now, circling back to the characters, my particular question in regards to them is, who are they? Like, is there some sort of storyline going on here for why all these people are jumping on the platforms, or do these people have backstories, or are they just like avatars to differentiate the powers?
So there is a little bit of lore. I will admit that it's very light. But so the lore, and I don't think this has actually been explained anywhere. So this may be an exclusive first. But so Jimpala is a sport that is played on a world not too dissimilar from Earth. But Earth was destroyed because we didn't take care of it. And in this new world, Jimpala is a sport that many people play. And every 4 years, every leap year, there is a Jimpala championship. The winner of the Jimpala championship, this is like an international thing. The winner of the championship gets whatever they want. It's like a boon system, if you've heard of those. And so all of these characters are competing for various reasons, hoping to win and get that boon. Lola has been training for this since she was 17. She fights for her parents, for family honor. Let's see who else is there. Fror is actually won before. With her boon, she actually became queen of her area. Now she competes more for the celebrity status for her fans. Yeah, Sid. I actually can't remember Sid's backstory offhand, but he's he's kid genius. He built his glove that lets him walk platforms. Yeah, so they all do have some slight paragraph of lore, but it's there.
And I also see that a new character has recently been announced, Ribbon.
Yes, Ribbon.
So, is she like the only new character to be introduced, or are there more down the pipeline?
So Ribbon is actually the third character that's been introduced. So Reese, Dr. Time, and Ribbon were all introduced at a later point than when Jampala first happened. And those 7 characters round out the entire cast that's going to be in the full version. I can't say whether or not there will be more characters because I don't want to make that promise. But we have play tested more than a couple new characters that may be added after launch, depending on how well it does.
Okay, that makes sense. And indeed, in terms of where the game is at, I mean, as far as I can tell, it's still in development.
Yes, that's correct.
Like, what state of completion is it in right now?
Ooh, that's a good question. It's always hard to definitively say what state it's going to be, just because you don't want to overpromise. But it's near completion. So the things that I would like to see before release are some additional stages, which we're working on. We're mainly working on the balance there. A few different modes. So you can play as a team currently, but getting that ready for prime time. Maybe a couple of modes that I'm not quite ready to talk about. Let's see. And then some achievements. There's currently an achievement system, but making that work, adding some unlockables. Yeah, but the core gameplay is there. It's not going to change too much. Apart from those issues just mentioned, it really is a matter of balance, making sure that it's balanced well enough for prime time.
Okay, that seems about right from what I can see here. Like, and see here. Is this game being made for PCs only?
At this time, yes, PCs only. Windows, Mac, and Linux. We'll see about console ports. A lot of that is a little harder to promise.
Right.
The thing about both in answer to the console question and in answer to the features and the characters, part of Yokereba's meaning, like the if it's good, when developing this, something that I would always say to myself is, well, if it's good, if it takes off, if people like it, then maybe I'll do these things. That's kind of where the studio name comes from. So I would like to see console ports. I would like to see all of this stuff, but we'll see if it's good. We'll see if people like it and play it.
Well, speaking of such things, your game is part of the fall Steam Games Festival.
Yes, that's correct.
Which launched as of time of this recording today.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've gotten any feedback from the current demo.
I have several people, several hundred people were watching the live stream when we demoed it. I've had more people trickle into the Discord, so that's nice. I think there are a lot of people playing together. Strategies are forming. Yeah, it's been good so far. It's only day one. Hoping that the next few days will also be good opportunities for learning.
Good to hear. Good to hear. And I suppose my final question at this point in time is, have you sorted out any sort of pricing for the game yet?
Yes and no. I've sorted out pricing in that I want to price it similar to games in its market and genre, right? So if you look at similar games, they're around a certain price. I think I'm going to try to hit that target. Nothing formal to. As soon as I say a number out loud, I feel like it's going to stick. I feel like someone's going to say, "Hey, but you said this," so I want to stay away from that. But I do know it won't be $30. It will be under $30. It will be under $70. It will be more than 99 cents.
I think those are good bases to have it, given the game on display here. Like, anyway, I'll see if my colleagues here have any final questions for you.
I had one visual thing that I noticed. The game is everything about it seems to indicate that it's designed as basically a pixel perfect game. Yes, up to including the screen sizes being just 1x, 2x, and 3x.
Yeah.
But when I was playing, I noticed that it looked like there were some areas where there were pixels that were thinner than they should be, and I was wondering if you're aware of that, or if there's an explanation for that about what I'm about. If there's like a setting thing or something that would have been doing that, or if that's just something that is either the way it's going to be, or if there was a refinement you were going to do.
That's a good question. It may depend on the resolution that you're playing. If you're playing full screen, if you're playing,
I put it in windowed.
Okay, so windowed should be pixel perfect, but there are so the game does make use of squashing and stretching when jumping, and so if you're in the middle of a jump tween, there's a chance that your character will stretch out beyond pixels or squash. That may be what you're seeing.
I think it was some of the stuff in the text sometimes.
Oh, interesting.
Like in the Jumpala logo, the divot in the U looks really thin compared to all of the other ones.
Oh, I see. Yeah, that need to be a refinement then.
Okay, I don't know. Some of it might just be weird single pixel use of things that I'm expecting to be different.
Gotcha.
Okay,
Yeah.
it was just something I noticed that I was curious about.
Yeah, if you get a chance later and want to, I don't know, highlight them in red ink or something and send them my way, I'd be happy to look and at least confirm or deny if it's intentional.
Okay.
Anyone else?
No, I think I'm good.
I'm good.
All right. So yeah, that'll about do it for the interview. I want to say thank you for taking time out of your schedule and joining us here tonight.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate this opportunity. It's been great to just talk about my game.
Good to hear. Good to hear. We're always glad when a guest enjoys their time on our program. Anyway, the game is Jumpala. It's currently in development, but you can pick up a demo of the game on Steam as part of the Autumn Steam Games Festival. It's coming soon, TM, for an undisclosed price at this point in time. Be sure to keep an eye out for those details when they become available. So, Petty, play us to the next segment. All right, welcome to the topic of discussion. What we're talking about this week, you may have forgotten, given that it was big news for about 12 hours, and then, just 2020 keeps happening. But anyway, we're talking about Minecraft and Smash Brothers. because on Thursday, the second DLC character of Character Pack 2 got unveiled, or characters in this case. And yeah, it's the Minecraft crew.
Steve Minecraft, Alex Minecraft, Enderman Minecraft, and Zombie Minecraft.
More or less.
That's the thing now, isn't it? Calling people with the thing that they're from as their last name?
Well, they kind of have to call him Minecraft Steve because, just calling him Steve. Well, first of all, he shouldn't be called Steve. He's Steve. His name typically had a question mark at the end, but apparently that's gone now. Smash Brothers killed off the question mark. So he's Steve, and he's Minecraft Steve because, granted, there's not another Steve in Smash Brothers, but Steve is such a generic name, you do have to designate, because you might be talking about a Steve.
Mm-hmm.
For example.
And certainly there's at least one other famous video game Alex, although not that famous.
I mean, we did talk about Alex Kidd not too long ago, but
right, that's what I was talking about.
Right. Anyway.
And zombies are in fucking everything. There's Zombie Castlevania, there's Zombie Minecraft, there's...
Yeah, you can't...
Zombie.
I will give credit to Minecraft Zombie for being, somewhat iconic while still being a zombie. Granted, it's not hard to be iconic when you've got the rectangle thing going.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, it's literally Green Steve.
Right. But yeah, so these four characters, or skins, however you want to frame it, they're the new they're the new inclusion in Smash Brothers, and of course, people have opinions because when can people ever not have opinions about a Smash Brothers? Yeah.
Even though Minecraft is 10 years old now, some people think it's too young compared to the other games in Smash, even though it's significantly older than some of the other games in Smash.
Yeah.
Some people just think the cubes are ugly, which, yes, that's kind of the point.
Yeah, I mean, Minecraft is what we call an aesthetic. Yeah, it looks at times like a game from 1993 that was built in the voxel engine. That was kind of the point.
Mm-hmm.
Now, granted, Minecraft can also look fucking amazing if you've got the right mods and settings applied. But Minecraft wasn't really set out to wow your graphics card, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you think that the most popular video game isn't worthy of inclusion, okay, first of all, granted, the most popular video game is kind of a hard thing to understand these days because, it used to be a lot easier. You just look up how much a game sold.
Mm-hmm.
But these days, in free-to-play and mobile downloads and all that kind of thing, Minecraft just has the mere distinction of, being the most sold game of all time. It's probably killed it on the mobile scene, but I don't think there's ever been a free-to-play version of Minecraft there. Kind of... Point is, Minecraft is still popular. It's still really popular 10, 11 years after it first launched. In terms of popularity, it dwarfs pretty much everything on the roster, if I'm being honest.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, there's only a few characters here that could stand up to Minecraft. And, as far as iconography, yeah, you could maybe argue some some issues with Steve in particular, but Minecraft is iconic. Minecraft's graphics, its designs, everything is iconic. I don't think there's a real debate to be had about that. So, along those lines, sure, Minecraft absolutely deserves to be, here. If we're just concerned about popularity power.
Of course, post the video where Sakurai explained how stuff works, there are also some people concerned because some of the things that they do are shall we say, very unconventional for Smash, and will probably rewrite how some shit works.
Which is not the first time this has happened, because the DLC has become kind of experimental sounding boards.
Yeah, they've done some other DLC
Yeah.
characters who are really weird, but the whole building blocks thing, which Sakurai isn't actually mad about it, I'm pretty sure, considering how excited he seemed to be for the final product, but was a fuck lot of work to map all of the existing stages and presumably all of the items in the stage builder mode that you can use to build a stage for what type of material queue you get from them, because that's a thing now. It takes a lot of. It's not going to be an easy character to play at all, never mind well.
Which is going to be ironic, if not ironic, certainly interesting, because this is going to be a favorite character for children. Make no mistake.
Yeah.
Like, children aren't going to be picking Minecraft Steve over, say, Terry Bogart 10 out of 10 times. Like, I guess maybe 9. You get the one weird kid that's into all the obscure shit. But point of order, like, this is going to be a very popular character with not just kids, but the YouTube community, presumably, because like, I think half of YouTube is Minecraft videos at this point.
Pretty much.
Like, and as far as how the Minecraft set plays, probably the most complicated character going in Smash Brothers right now. A lot of context sensitive things, a lot of stuff that they had to rewrite each and every stage for. It's all laid out in the 45-minute video they put out. And I
want to see him build blocks on fucking Mario Galaxy or whatever that stage is. The one where fucking the ground and gravity are both curved.
Oh God.
I'm like, well, I mean, it's supposed to happen. Sakurai said that you could build on any arena
it'll probably snap to a square thing, because the notable thing about the blocks is that you cannot build a block when your feet are on the ground. It's the neutral special while your feet are not on the ground, or when they're on an existing block.
Yeah, it's to help him because he has a really shitty jump otherwise.
Yeah.
His air jump is okay, but his base jump, which is a nice thing actually, that he doesn't have a ridiculous jump or a ridiculously reach melee attack, which has been a thing for some of the DLC characters from both Smash Ultimate and Smash 4 before it. Looking at you, Corrin. Then they announced the Belmonts with Ultimate, and then fucking Min Min, whose melee reach is something like half of Battlefield. And as far as jumps go, Hero and Joker both have stupid, ridiculous vertical recoveries.
I mean, some of those characters are banned in tournament play. Looking at you, Hero.
Yeah.
Yeah, and actually, I think Heroes is partially because there's a little bit more randomness than some people like in what you get in your spells menu, and some of Steve's thing is still a bit random, even though the dig queues are fixed. So that's another reason why Steve might be being banned by certain competitive people.
Well, that, and he's a edge guard supreme.
Yeah, that and the fact that he can literally build blocks in the way of you trying to get back on the stage.
Yeah, I'm like that. Like, I not help but bust on Little Mac again. Like, shitty recovery time. But yeah, it's like Steve's moveset's pretty insane. Just the context and sensitivity. Also, that minecart move may be a bit broken in and of itself. Like,
yeah, but it takes gold and redstone to build.
Right, and they have incorporated the mine and the crafting mechanics. You do have to dig for resources and use a crafting table. It's going to be interesting to have that plays out.
Yeah, instead of you can place a new crafting. You spawn with a crafting table, but you can place a new one, which is your neutral special while shielding, because he has 4 neutral specials.
This character is kind of insane. Have we gotten it across yet?
Anyway, I'm mostly here for Cube Kirby.
Yeah. As per usual, we got the Kirby transformation, and it's so obvious that I'm surprised more people didn't call it.
Well, most people were hoping it would be this and not like Kirby with the Steve goatee or something.
Right. But yeah, he's definitely Cube Kirby, and I'm pretty sure if that that Kirby cube isn't in Minecraft in some sort of mod capacity already, it will be.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, maybe some official Nintendo version DLC. But, like, there's an opportunity there. I'm telling you right now to capitalize on Cube Kirby, because it seems to be a really popular Kirby form already.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
but Adam, Box Boy already exists. I know.
What level is Box Boy? Like, spirit level?
Yeah, Box Boy is a spirit, or QB and some of the other Box Boy characters are spirits.
Yeah. So, yeah, they're in, but not in a way that's all that meaningful, if I'm being honest. I mean, because, okay, this does have to be addressed. There are tiers of character tiers, because, they've also announced the requisite costumes. And, yeah, this is another thing that's got people pissed off. Okay, they got a lot of Minecraft costumes. I think half of the new costumes are Minecraft. Let's see what
horribly disjointed pig, horribly disjointed Enderman, and diamond armor that any me can wear.
Yeah, no, it's a creeper.
Creeper, right?
Yeah, Enderman's actually part of the fighter set. Like, but yeah, we got the Tower of Draga returning as well.
Yeah, Gil was one of the ones in Smash 4 that they're bringing back this time, because every Mii Fighter costume pack has had a few returning ones.
And the big one that's ignited the controversies is Travis Touchdown from No More Heroes is rounding out the set, if I'm recalling correctly.
The reason is because that effectively deconfirms him as a later character to be added, which probably makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I know Bayonetta is also a very mature rated character, and actually so is Solid Snake, but they're both the kind of people who could like control their mouths plausibly. Mm-hmm. I feel like Travis Touchdown has somewhat less finesse.
Yeah. Now, we don't exactly know what goes into the thought processes a good deal of the time when before the character is announced. Sakurai does explain why a character gets picked. And in some cases, fan noise has led to actual characters like King K. Rool and Ripley.
And Banjo and Kazooie, kind of.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Other times, it's Sakurai's indulgence. You can't tell me Terry Bogarts was any other pick with Sakurai.
Indeed.
I'm like, given the way he gushed about Terry Bogart, yeah, like that was for him. I can respect that. In the case of Minecraft, it's because, well, Minecraft is popular. And in particular, it's popular with the development team working on Smash Brothers. Not a big surprise, since once again, Minecraft is insanely fucking popular. Like, and more to the point, Minecraft is actually really popular in Japan as well. Not easy for a foreign-made game to get that designation, which may help bolster the chances of Crash Bandicoot, because like Crash Bandicoot was like the first Western-developed game to ever sell 1 million copies in Japan. Granted, that's not actually true, but that gets into the technicalities of how you define the likes of Spelunker and Lode Runner. Because, Anyway, point is.
So you're saying we should get the load runner and deal with that thing's mechanics.
I'm like,
When
No.
you're playing a load runner, the entire stage becomes entirely black and white. Since the load runner cannot jump or cannot jump more than like his own height, and this is an important game mechanic, he gains the ability to pick up chunks of the level and put them down in other places.
Oh yeah, that's right. The other costume was Bomberman.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
yeah,
Which is an upgrade from Assist Trophy. Although
Yeah.
Bomberman's move. So here's the thing: Bomberman would have actually had a pretty interesting potential move set as a playable character, and I don't feel like being a Mii brawler quite lives up to that. I mean, yeah, you have the neutral shot put attack, but otherwise there's not much there, and so I guess you just have to play as Bomberman and have items turn to bombs on high.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much.
Which he literally suggested in the video. Why don't you play on this with the cross bombs, because that's the one that's like the ones that are Bomberman.
Yep.
But I get what they're going for, and I don't know, maybe in a later Smash game, even if they have significantly smaller rosters than this insane conglomeration.
Right. And no, we didn't get any teases for what the next character would be. I'm like, they never do that, by the way. Like, it's like if they do a tease, it's going to be like before the character is going to be announced, not while the, or they'll announce two characters at once. They've done that.
I think they did announce. What was it? They announced out of the first fighter pack. I think they announced one of them at the end of another one. Was it like they announced Banjo and Kazooie at the end of?
No, they announced Terry Bogard at the end of a, at the end of one of these presentations.
Right.
My point is, like, I don't think they've done an
They're
actual.
not going to just tease it. If they want to reveal it, they're going to fully reveal it with the video and everything.
Because they don't need to tease, like, but they sometimes do. With this character, we got no tease. We got nothing until Nintendo just randomly put out there, oh, hey, we're going to reveal the next Smash Brothers character in like a day, or something like that, or maybe a week. Like, it was really short notice. I think that might be COVID related. Everything's kind of.
Considering that this video was allegedly filmed in August and Sakurai was at home for that, and then it's releasing like a week or two after they reveal it. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I guess that's about it for Minecraft in Smash Brothers. At least until they add more costumes or whatever. So yeah, that'll about do it for this installment of Fragments of Silicon. The week ahead. Let's see. We do have a Friday show, and it's an interview show. Coming up on Friday, October 9th, we were having Tom Kale of Inkle. You'll recall we interviewed the other half of Inkle just a year ago about Heaven's Vault. Tom Kale will be joining us because he was the principal developer on their latest Pendragon, which we did a review of just, last week? Yeah. And let's see. On the Sunday game reviews, we'll be having reviews of Galactic Bulwark Strike. Consider this a breakout game without the breakout, in that you have a paddle, you have a ball, you don't have any bricks. You do kill enemies, though. You use the ball to kill the enemies, or you use a laser. It all depends on your configuration and what you do. I'll get more into those mechanics on Sunday. Got Little Big Workshop for the PlayStation 4, which means Petty's on this one. Got Blind Men for the Nintendo Switch, which is a wholesome yaoi spy caper kind of visual novel.
Yay.
All right. And you got Mini Ghost, which is a 8-bit prequel to the Metroidvania title Ghost 1.0. Also, weirdly enough, we are not reviewing Ghost 1.0 at this point in time. I don't know. I don't get why people send me things and why they don't send me other things, but that's how it goes. Anyway, so that's it for this installment of Fragments of Silicon. Be sure to tune in. Presumably, we are having our second episode of Last News Desk on the left in about 30 minutes over on Mac's channel. We'll get more into the promoting of this once we're more sure that there's going to be a show afterwards.
As it is, if it happens, I'm sure there will be incisive political commentary.
Yes. Until then, I wish you good gaming.